Okay, we're just loading everybody in from the waiting room. Good morning, everybody. Another fabulous day here at West USA Realty. I'm your host or your instructor, Keith Flynn. I'm the Director of Digital Marketing here at West USA. Excited to have you on this Thursday. Sorry about last Thursday if you were looking forward to Instagram Reels. My son got sent home from school, sniffles, and so everyone's being very cautious. So we're rescheduling. We're hoping to do Reels, Instagram Reels next Tuesday, 10 a.m. We'll do a double header next week. And then also then our normal Thursday, 10 a.m. will be Canva. Some tricks and tips for pro users as well as for free users. But really exciting 2 classes next week, and ones that you guys should definitely sit on because it'll help your business out considerably. But with that, you have any questions at all, jump into the chat box there. I have the screen up. I'll be able to see you guys asking questions. Google My Business, pretty straightforward. Thankfully, like everything with Google does, it's easy to use. So not going to be a long one today. Just got some slides for you. We'll talk about value propositions, why you should be using Google My Business. And if you haven't already created one, we'll show you how to jump into a live environment. We'll knock one out really fast. Not a lot to it. So not a lot of nuances, which is really nice, but just a lot of benefit, which is huge for you guys. Like all of my webinars, they are recorded and they will live on our YouTube channel after the fact. So be sure to check out not only this one, but any of the others that you may have missed. There's a lot of good information here for you. As always, if you have any questions after the fact, feel free to email me. I'm Keith, that's Keith at westusa.com. And I'll be happy to jump on a call with you and find out what's happening in your world when it comes to real estate. So before we get rocking and rolling, like we always do, we'd like to say thank you to our sponsors back with us for this month. Really excited to have Bree in the house, well, on the Zoom with the Robert Comer Group. Bree, how are you been?
Good. How have you been?
I've been good. I've been good. Just staying busy. You know, I want to get back out to the offices, and we, Zoom's awesome. So we're just keep rocking and rolling with classes. But how are things going for you guys in the recruitment world? I know not only are you guys growing with agents, but you're also looking for some awesome people to join your team.
Yeah, we are looking to grow. We need a few more loan officers. We have a couple that we've hired. So if any of your agents know people, I know a lot of times I always like to ask agents, who do you like working with? And Is there anybody that that just maybe like, I don't think there's any bad companies to work for, but I love the team that I work for. And so is there anybody that you think would fit with that? Because I really do think that it's just about finding the right fit and finding somebody who, where you kind of mesh well together. So if there's anybody that's just kind of like looking for a place to go, let us know. If there's anybody who's looking for newly coming into the mortgage industry, we've got a great program to kind of help get them started. So that's another thing. Like if there's somebody who's like, oh, I really want to get started, but I just don't know where to go, we can totally have a chat with them. So that's definitely one of the things that we're working on. Another thing we're working on. So one of the things I actually wanted to present was that we are looking to share your guys' listings. We have a couple of new programs that are coming out. So if you guys have listings that you're trying to get out there, let us know, shoot them over to me so that then we can blast them out on all of our social media just to get you guys that extra exposure, because you never know who's going to see it, whether it's somebody within the industry that might have a client. If it's one of my friends who's looking, there's times when I've seen people who are not even in the industry who are like, does anybody know somebody who blah, 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 I'm looking for this, you just never know.
Right.
So that's always kind of a good avenue.
Nice. And so remind us again about your guys' VA program.
So we have a whole division that is they do everything, but it's a whole division that specializes in VA. So it's kind of cool because they have a whole program where they actually go out and educate all of the veterans, because so many veterans get out of the military. And honestly, I know this from personal experience. My ex-husband was a Marine, and they get out of the military and they know nothing about what their options are as far as like what they are eligible for. So what our veterans division does is goes and educates on like, here's the things, here's how it works, here's what they can be eligible for. And they really can go in and do like kind of a deep dive into crunching those numbers. They're very well versed in what the pay looks like for a veteran, what their benefits look like, so it's like they go into such great detail that they really give them that attention and really like understand how to work with veterans to make it an easy process for them. So then it kind of makes it an easy process for the agent, because a lot of people do kind of shy away from those VA loans because they think that it's kind of scary. But
Right.
when you have somebody who knows a lot about it, it really isn't.
Nice. Okay, cool. Well, sweet. Well, you guys have any questions at all, reach out to Bree. Her contact information is there on the screen. It's always a pleasure having you on, Bree, and I thank you for sharing this morning with us.
Thank you so much. Have a good day.
And we'll see you twice next week.
Yes.
Awesome. All right, we take care. All right, and then also with Great American Title, we have the pleasure of Jill St. Croix, always a great resource, been in the business for a number of years, and love relying on her when it comes to social media content. When you have any questions at all, Jill, good morning. She's happy to answer them for you.
Hi, Keith. You're absolutely right. We have a team that does a lot of our graphic design work and does our research for us as far as ownership, things like that. If we give them an idea, if you and I brainstorm together, we give them an idea, they'll make it pop for us. And we always try to make things individualized. We don't like to put people in the same category or the same box because everybody's business is different.
Right.
So if you want a really unique look, if you want a really crazy funky look or a very classy look, let's work on it together. And then that way, when we do put it out there and you Google my business, hopefully that will pop up for you and get you some more people coming in.
Oh, you cut out there for a second. You still there?
Sorry, spam call came through. But yeah, let us know. We're always happy to help Great American Title. And if you have an escrow that you'd like to open, we'd love to help you with that too.
Awesome. Absolutely. Thanks, Jill. We really appreciate you taking the time to say hello and share with us. And of course, obviously, if you guys have any questions at all for Jill, her contact information there is on the screen. I know she's always available and happy to help out. And we'll see you one time next week. Correct, Jill?
One time next week. Y'all see you on Tuesday.
Cool. We appreciate that. All right. Have a great day, Jill. Thank you.
Thanks. Have a great class. I can't wait to hear what you got going on.
All right, guys. So we're getting rock and roll here. As I mentioned, for a few people jump in here, short one for you. So what is Google My Business? You guys obviously, if you don't know what Google is, then call me. We'll definitely have a conversation. But you guys know that Google definitely has the most market share when it comes to searches that are performed on a daily basis. I mean, it's part of our vernacular now. Google something. We don't even say search. We just say Google something. Just like tissues became Kleenex. And so when your brand becomes the action to actually do it or use the product, that's definitely signs of a lot of market share. So over 80% of searches that are performed on a daily basis are happening on Google. And so for you as real estate agents, Google is a preferred way for businesses to provide information to clients, to potential clients. When used correctly as a real estate agent, it can be a very powerful way for you guys to get increase your visibility, show up in searches, reviews for not only real estate, but also in your area, service area. So, it's really important for you guys as real estate agents because Google users, as you can see, GMB, use it in two primary ways. And so number one, simply put, is Google Business is similar to like a website. It's going to help people find you when performing a search. Number one, potential clients, when they type in your name, guys, they're looking for any results, they may pop back up. It's going to show them your listings. In the box, it's going to show them your contact information. If you have any reviews, a lot of searches are being performed on a mobile device. And so when it comes to a buyer or seller, you want to show up on that search result and they want to be able to find out more about you. Make sure that, you're a trusted and respected agent in the area they're looking for. Number two, when it comes to potential clients, if they're looking for, Phoenix real estate agents, best agent in Phoenix, whatever that search query is going to be, those key searches, You want to show, when it shows up in the box, they're going to be able to see your, let's let one person in real quick here. All right. Okay, people are jumping in. When you look at a map pack, that's on the right side there, you'll see that little map pack, and it'll show those 3-pack of the local business area. We start ranking. It's good to show up in those areas, and especially when it's searching for you specifically. If you have a good search result and they see that there's some social proof there, they're going to feel better about working with you guys. And so that's what we're going to work on today, and focusing on just why we're doing it. Some advantages for you guys, as I've already mentioned a few of them, for when it comes to your Google My Business account. Improved listings in search areas. So when someone searches for you, as I've already mentioned, they're going to show up in that local area. You're going to show up on a map, your service areas. Now, for a lot of real estate agents, like it used to be that we would get the question, you know, I don't have a brick and mortar. I'm working in my home or remotely. Or so what's nice is in recent years, well, about 2 years now, Google added the ability for businesses who don't have a brick and mortar location. So a lot of service-based companies, you know, like obviously we're going to know where Terminex is, but we're not stopping into their brick and mortar location to, you know, see what deals there are. We're searching online and we're contacting them virtually. And so for a lot of businesses that operate under that modem under that mode, where they're virtual, then it's good to just mark your business as service area. And so when we get into that, I'll show you guys, you don't actually need to put a brick and mortar location. Yes, you may have a branch. You might work out of Arrowhead or Goodyear, Scottsdale, whatever. We don't need to actually claim that listing for that location, which makes my job a lot easier. Thank you. Because we're often stealing locations back and forth from one another. And since we physically have a location there, we would like our listings to show up. So for agents, you'll be able to not have to put a location. It's going to ask, is this an area or is this a listing that people can visit? You say no, then you choose your service areas. So they made it a lot easier for you guys, which at the end of the day, I'm sure you guys will appreciate. Simple benefits, obviously, of using Google My Business. It isn't replacing your SEO if you do have a website, but what it does is it fills in those gaps for search results. Since Google is the most visited website for search results, then it's good for you guys to be on there as well. Reviews are going to be huge for you guys. We'll get into some reasons and some areas where, you know, where should we be asking our clients for reviews. There's a couple different thought process there, but we'll jump into that as well. And then Google My Business, they have analytics in there, so you guys can see what keywords people are searching for and how they're finding you. Once you have your listing, I'll show you where that's at, and you can see when people are searching for you, what keywords are they using that you're showing up for. So that's a real benefit there. And of course, my head's in the way of a lot of that. So I'll just slide me over there. And you guys, when it comes to Google, the reports will tell you how many people are visiting your listing. And when I say listing in this next 45 minutes, when I say listing, I'm speaking specifically about your Google My Business listing, not for rentals or any of your for sale properties. And then you can find out how they found your business, and then how many clicked to call directly, and even ask for directions. But in this case, we're not really a brick and mortar, so it's not going to be a benefit in that respect. All right, let's slide back over. Okay, so getting started is pretty simple. If you guys haven't already done so, having a Gmail account will be beneficial. Most of us already all do. You can go to business.google.com/create, and I'll go through this here with you as well. But for the sake of this webinar, I'm going to map out the instructions and some of the things that you can look forward to if you need to review this on the recording, or if anybody is watching this after this live presentation, you'll be able to follow along with the instructions. Claiming or creating. So there's two different options for you here. When we go into manage and we do a simple search, when you first go to business.google.com, it's going to ask you what business you're looking for. If the business already exists, then you can claim it if it hasn't already been claimed. Typically for you guys as real estate agents, I don't see people creating listings for you. There are businesses out there where there may have been a business that exists, but there's no actual listing for it yet. So there are some rare times when a consumer would create or could create your business for you, Google's going to ask you to search first to find it. If you don't, then we're going to be in a create mode, which is 9 times out of 10 the case. After you search for your business, choosing your primary category is important for your real estate agent. As a real estate agent, having the correct category is important. Again, this is very simple, and I'll show you that drop-down box when we get into it. The primary category for business is going to give you top priority as a real estate agent, and it helps Google with their algorithm so they know where you need to be placed. Plus, it's refreshing when you search for something specific and Google provides exactly what you need. So that's why these categories exist. You can choose up to 3, I believe. So if there's any other of these categories that are relevant to what you do, then naturally you can go ahead and select those. When creating an account, really simple, guys. We want to focus on creating your name if you haven't done so, because you can change your listing name if your business name. In this case, I chose Keith Flynn West USA Realty. There's some options or some other ideas there when it comes to choosing your name. Having the word real estate agent or realtor in there, Keith Flynn, comma, real estate agent, or comma, realtor. If you don't want to list your brokerage, I'm fairly confident that AAR and NAR would like you to do that. They would like you to have the broker identified in the name. So it's as long as I say that, I'm absolved of not saying it or of having not been said to say that. Make sure that you guys at least list in there that you're a real estate agent, because that is a key word that's going to show up when people are searching, and having the word realtor or real estate in the business name, it's going to help you rank better in the Google My Business algorithm, because again, this is another supporting keyword that identifies what you do and in your business. That's important for you guys as well. And then, as I mentioned, the next one there on your right, do you want to add a location the customers can visit? This is where we recommend, unless you physically have an office or renting out an office in one of our locations, choose no. And then it's when we get to the next slide here, it's going to ask you, okay, great. Then what are your service areas? And much like Realtor or Realtor.com or Zillow, you can crank in either the city or the zip codes of your area. Now, when choosing and optimizing your areas of where you're at, you can list the cities at large. So Phoenix, Glendale, Scottsdale, and so on. Just go through all the areas that you are going to be servicing in the areas you'll be at. It's important to list those because that way you'll show up not only for specific, we always say that you should be working, on a hyper local level. So if you put in the zip codes, that's great. That can be a little tedious, as you probably experienced with some of your other accounts like on realtor.com. But if you want to list the cities at large, then that'll help you out as well. And you can go through those. The next one there is going to ask you guys for your mailing address. This is important because this is where they will send you the verification code to your house. Just know that when you put in your mailing address, you will not show up. Your home address is not going to show up. So that's the nice thing about it. That's custom to you. That's just for Google to use and for you to use for the account. Don't worry, no one's going to come knocking at your door. That will be actually a piece of information about your business that'll be visible to anybody creating a search for you. That's it's a pretty simple process when it comes to creating an account. What we have here on the screen now is the simple dashboard that Google has. I love Google because they're very minimalistic. They try to keep things clean. Not a lot to distract you in the way of a navigation. Much, if you're on Facebook, there's so many ways to do so many of the same things, but they keep a very simple navigation on the left-hand side here for you guys. And then going through the steps of creating your overall profile for your account is pretty simple to do. And in this screen here is where you're going to optimize your Google My Business profile. So after you've claimed and created the profile, and you want to get into optimizing it, and we'll go through this in a live environment. If you already have a listing, you can hop into your existing one. And I can show you how to make sure everything is dialed in, that we filled out all those areas. And then most importantly is that you're using the profile and optimizing it best for you. Google has put, obviously, all of your relevant information for your business is needed to be in there and kept up to date. So if anything changes, you can do that. But they're really putting an emphasis on photos and videos that are related to your business. So unlike a restaurant or a retail location or nightlife or somewhere where the consumer is generating a lot of photos, you guys know when you guys search for a business, if you ever go into their photo section, you want to see what the inside of the restaurant looks like. If it's, you know, it's an atmosphere that looks appealing. There's a lot of that. A lot of the photos work for the client, and a lot of, believe it or not, a lot of the searches, businesses with photos receive 42% more requests for driving instructions or directions. Now, you guys, again, that's not really relevant to you because you're not a brick and mortar, but the algorithm is geared so that businesses with photos tend to get more traffic because people are seeing and learning more about you. And so when it comes to being a real estate agent, videos and photos are very important. And it's going to show people basically that, you know, you are, you know, you're in business, you're engaged in your activity, any photos that you upload of your listings, you know, make sure they're high res photography, photos of you working with your clients, any of your for sale or sold signs that have your branding and marketing on them. That's important. That just shows legitimacy and social proof. Like, you're out there, here's your yard sign, there's a beautiful home. Shots like that are going to be really beneficial for you guys. And those are ones that Google encourages businesses to upload. And especially as an agent, highly going to be beneficial for you because people will see that you are a business and you're in business. The caveat is that you as a business owner are going to be, you're going to be the one who has to upload a lot of the photos. You don't have consumers taking shots of the, you know, beautiful grilled cheese sandwich and then uploading them to the Google listing. So it's important for you guys as business owners to be the ones who are actually photographing and then loading in those photos into your account. And so I'll show you where that lives as well. And then one of the other aspects that Google My Business has implemented in the last few years is posts. Much like social media, they encourage business owners to come in and share updates, what's happening with the business, if there's special hours, if there's an event. So while not necessarily relevant for you guys, some things that you can do and some tactics that you guys can implement, you know, some tips to optimize your Google My Business listing, we'll get into with, you know, just listed, just sold, any properties you've worked with, before and afters are another awesome one. Anything that you've done to help a client get ready for the listing. Maybe you took on a listing because the previous agent didn't have any showings, it sat on the market for a long time. But after your advice, after your before and afters, after tips that you've given to get the house ready for sale, then obviously we want to showcase those in a photo format or video, which will live in your account, and people can learn more about you and see if you're likable, if you're someone they want to work with. So that's important because we all want to be liked, especially me because I have low self-esteem. So just kidding. All right, so insights, the last one they were talking about, guys, was insights. You guys can jump in and see who's searching for what keywords they're searching for. In this particular case, this is a screenshot from one of our listings. People are searching for West USA rentals, West USA, USA West. You can see there's variances when it comes to searches. And so whether they know your last name and you're an agent, or your first name or an agent, there's going to be multiple different ways to look into the insights to see what people are searching for. That's important. And then reviews. Lots of thoughts on this one. If with your reviews, obviously I get customers ask me, agents ask me all the time, where should I direct my customers to do a review? You know, where should I be pointing them to go reviews? And there's a lot of different thought processes on that one. You know, there's probably 4 or 5 good places for you guys to direct people for search. where you want them to go. The review guidelines are pretty simple and easy for a lot of different platforms. Number one, number two, Google is going to be a big one. Realtor.com, Zillow, Redfin. Naturally, since customers are already in there searching and learning about you, that would be a great place for them to do reviews. But a lot of these sites are going to ask them to create an account, and they may not want to create an account. So that's going to be a rub for them. But most people already have a Google account. Most people are already on Facebook. So wherever it is you ask for your reviews, I think Google is a great place for you to direct them for your reviews, because you can always then take a screenshot or repurpose the review in Canva, create yourself a social media post, and then just do a nice little humble thank you on your social media of the review. Copy and paste, create a little Canva. I show you guys how to do this in my class next week, and then use that as social content, and do a little like, thank you so much for the review. And then, at the bottom, you can put source Google, Google My Business, source Realtor.com, Zillow.com. But wherever you're sending your reviews, make sure you repurpose that content for your social media needs, which is going to be an awesome opportunity for you guys to create content and show social proof when it comes to your business. All right, so we're at the end of the slides here. Let me switch screens really quick, because I want to, what do I want to do? I want to share my screen. We're going to go to live environment here. We're going to go to number 2. All right, and okay, cool. So I got to move all these little boxes of you guys and questions. Is there a way to send a link or a QR code to ask for a review? Yes, there is, and that's a great question, David. Your Google My Business listing, easiest thing for you guys to do is search for your listing as if you were a consumer. Find your listing and then click on the reviews, then grab that URL at the very top of your existing reviews, and then send that in an email to your client. When they log in and they click on that link, then they'll go right to where your reviews are. And if you already have some, they'll see the past ones, and then they're able to contribute and do their own review as well. Creating a QR code, I would imagine you could just take that link, go to a QR code creator, and then create your own QR code and link your review link to that if you want to go that way as well. Be mindful though, if you use a QR creator, make sure you can use one that is evergreen. That means that if you can go back, the QR code stays the same, but you can always, so it's a living code. It's a living QR code, so that you can always change that link out should you need to. Most of the time there's a cost associated for that. You'll probably need to create a new QR code each time, but if the link doesn't change, the QR code can stay static, then that would be a great code to use on a business card, or in send it as a photo snapshot in a text message. There's a number of different thought processes when it comes to your reviews and when asking for them. I personally think that you should condition your client throughout the process that there's going to be you are going to be making the request, the ask for the review at several different points, 3 or 4 points throughout the whole contract process. So let them know that you value the relationship with your clients, and at the end, I'll send you a link to have you do a review wherever you want them to go. Remind them that after closing that we're going to send you an email asking for a review. Don't get hung up on asking for a review. Don't feel like you're being pushy. Just let them know that you love growing your business, you love working with your clients, and you love to have your clients share their experience with you so that you can share it with potential clients in the future. I think it's a customer. And of course, if you've got a kickback, if you've got a referral fee or anything that you do for your clients, referrals are awesome. And I don't think that's a tough ask at all. All right, so we're here at the login screen to create your account. Now I'm going to go along the premise that we're creating for the first time, but again, it's real quick. So for you guys who've already been through this, sit tight. We won't spend too much time on it. I'm going to go ahead and search for Keith Flynn, and nothing shows up in the way of real estate agents. So I'm going to choose Keith Flynn, and I'm going to just choose real estate agent, right? Just keep it simple, plain forward. So as I do, you'll see here, my first option is to create a business name with there. Okay, easy peasy. Category, start to type the word real. And as you do, just like on my screenshot previously, you'll see all the options you have when it comes to real estate. In this case, we're going to go ahead and choose real estate agent. And from there, we're going to hit next. All right, now we're into the creation portion, which is really simple. Do you want to add a location customers can visit? Remember, we said no. I don't. I'm working remotely. I'm out and about. I don't need to actually have a brick and mortar location. No one's pulling in to see what my weekend specials are. Where do you serve your customers? Guys, this is an awesome one here. The areas of your business you provided for your listing around your area, a lot of agencies who do online social media management, website development, and so on. Yes, they have a brick and mortar location for where their employees are going to go, but for the most part, they're servicing an area. So in this case here, I'm going to keep it simple. I'm not going to go through all the cities, but I am just going to do a couple of them just so you get the idea, which I'm pretty sure you already have. Make sure we choose Glendale, Arizona. And then from there, we'll move on. So I just threw in 3 real quick, and I'm going to hit next. Simple as that. What's your contact information? Your phone number, 602-942-4200. Do you have a website? Sure do. westusa.com. And if you don't have a website, you can click on I don't have a website. Easy as peasy. Hit next on that one. So now we're getting to the dashboard. So in this particular case, we enter a actual address. And so you guys see here, your address provided will be hidden. So no worries in that respect. And of course, post office is not eligible. So I'm going to go ahead and choose our address here, 2355 West Utopia, whatever that looks like for you guys. And then obviously choose your state. Zip code is good. We're good to go on that one. Hit next. All right, and choose a way to verify. So we're new postcard, more options they have, which I shouldn't have blanked out that one. Verify later. There we go. Yep. So contact name, it's already in there. We'll just put Keith Flynn, pretending this is your home address. We're actually going to mail a verification form to this address here. I'm going to go back and delete this listing, so that'll kill the card the same day, but postcard's on its way. Now, guys, remember, you can fill out your dashboard and get into all of your information, but it will not, and your listing will not show up in a search result until you have verified the listing. Once the listing is verified, then it activates, it makes it live. So if you guys still have that verification in your dashboard, that means you're not showing up in search results. So we want to make sure you get that cleaned up right away. I can add some additional services if I'd like. Appraisals. If you guys don't have any, you can hit create custom ones here, and you can get into let's see here, real. You can add investment if you're looking for work for investors, if you're doing probate, flip homes, remodels, multiplex. If there's anything specific, you guys can add in your services if you don't see ones that they've suggested, and then hit next and it'll load them in there. So really easy on that one. Take your time, go through there if you have any additional services you want to add. Hours of operation. If you guys do 24/7, right? we're all you got taking calls, taking text messages. If you do have some hours or days of the week that you do not work, want to adhere to those, be sure to click and toggle those on. If there's specific times for that day, you can enter in, in this case, we're open 24 hours on Sunday, or we're not. Monday, we're 24 hours. then you guys can go through and make these as you need. On Tuesdays, I only do 7 a.m. to 2 o'clock. Let's say we've got some activity going on that day. Whatever your hours look like, you can go through, lock that in. I'll show you when we get on the dashboard where you can edit those if you need to, along with all the other information. Add messaging. Like customers use the business on Google for free. So they have the messaging app is available. So hit next. A lot of clients, a lot of customers, a lot of users, Google has apps for a lot of their services, and messaging is one of them. So they can message you. We certainly would want any way for them to communicate to us be available. So make sure you turn that on. So then your next one is adding a business description. So if you guys haven't created a bio, or there's some other sites where a bio has been asked of you guys, highly recommend using a bio. You can Fiverr.com, Fiverr.com is a global market website for anything you guys can think of. Creative designs, graphic designs, marketing materials, graphic designers, copywriters. I've gone to resume reviewers. So if you guys have a hard time with writing a bio, you're not comfortable talking about yourself in that way, you can hire a copywriter to create a bio for you and write one, maybe like a brag sheet sharing your accomplishments or areas of focus when it comes to your business, and then add that into your bio. And of course, not only use it here, but you guys can use that across, Realtor.com, Zillow, and so on. It's always good to have a bio. Probably already have one on another site, copy and paste. Throw that guy in here and you're good to go. I'm gonna hit skip right now because I'm not gonna write a bio. When it comes to photos for your business, remember, as I mentioned, guys, you're gonna have to be the one who primes this up. You're rarely probably gonna have a customer who's gonna take a photo and then put it on your listing. That's usually, you'll see that more customary for retail, restaurants, and so on. So for you guys, grab some high-res images. When it comes to maximizing your listing, take advantage of using some great photography. And I had some examples here, but I probably don't. Uploading a photo from your computer. Let me see if I can find. I'm just going to use this Labor Day shot here. Always, especially for you guys as real estate agents, you guys know the importance of first impressions are everything. So the photos that you choose, make sure they're high res, great branded shots, things that are going to showcase you, like I mentioned earlier, working with a client, shaking hands at signing. It's okay to stage these shots. It doesn't, if you don't actually get a real client in the photo, grab a buddy, grab a friend, put some papers on a desk, set some decent lighting up, make sure it's a good shot. We've all got some pretty good cameras now on our cell phones, and get yourself some cool marketing shots. If it's in the budget, hire a photographer to work with some branding photos. There's the traditional News 5 headshot, in the corner of your marketing materials. People are kind of getting away from that. They're going more of the influencer branding shots now. And so however that looks for you guys, there's a lot of photographers out there that are pretty inexpensive that can get 5 or 10 finished shots for you, and then use those in your listings, and not only on Google, but go along your social media. So you have some continuity of some brand, whether you've got a logo or whatever the case may be. I'm going to jump into my logos here, and where's my file at? There we go. I've got all my logos loaded in here. So I'm going to grab one. And we'll load that into it as well. So again, branding yourself, and whether you're with West USA or another brokerage, make sure you load in some branding and identification so they see who you're with and where you're at. All right, done on that one. Oh, okay, cool. So advertise easily a minute. So of course, Google's going to want you to run some ads. So this is an opportunity for you to run Google ads. I'm not going to get into this right now because it's a pretty complex situation. But once your listing is up and live, you've been verified, you guys can start running some Google ads, and you can target keywords. So if someone's performing a search, if you're going to take prime positioning at the top, you probably have seen this before when you search yourself. Google ads are going to put up there at the top. You're going to get some premium on that first search result page at the top. If you're looking forward to kickstarting your marketing and get it going, you've got some money in the budget, drop a few dollars on there and start showing up on those search results. I'm going to skip this one because we're not going to run any ads. And now our business profile is almost ready to rock and roll. We'll hit continue. Voila. There we go. Jumped into the dashboard. This is your simple dashboard to navigate through your listing. Probably most of you on the call or on this webinar today already have a listing and you want to know how to maximize it and use it to your advantage. It's really simple and straightforward, which is really nice. As I mentioned over here on the left-hand side, they've got a navigation you can go through. And we'll just take you around the horn here. So right off in the center, Google's pretty good about pointing out their new offerings, what they have that you can use in the way of features for the Google My Business listing. And if you haven't completed them, they will encourage you to do so through the use of this gauge right here where it says completed business profile. Get noticed by more customers in your area with a completed profile from Google My Business. So at this point, we're at 60% completed. So if you guys are anything less than 100 or you're on 90% or less, definitely focus on those areas and fill in where you can. At the top here, under home, the home tab is going to take you to the dashboard here. Your posts. Now, as I mentioned earlier, updating. Why is this? Half of my things cut off. Let's see here. Well, I don't want to minimize that. Okay, let's see 1 second here. All right, trying to figure out why we're all stuffed up under there, but I guess that's just going to be all right. So when it comes to posts, much like social media, like Facebook, Instagram, whatever social media platform you're using, you can update your listing with content about what's happening. You don't need to visit it every day and upload information like you would like Facebook or Instagram, but you can add updates, add offers and events. Highly recommend using the add event tab here for open houses or listing, making any announcements that are relevant to your business. And again, this is social proof. So of course, if you're going to have an open house, upload a photo here and title it. So I'm just going to, I don't even know what I have in the way of a house right now, but I will see what shows up when it comes to a home. Or let's see here. I don't think I actually have a exterior of a home, but I've got a lot of photos. So let's go to, we're just going to use this generic one here. All right. So I was using this stock footage. For this particular case, I'm using a stock image from Shutterstock. For your listing, guys, don't use any stock footage. Try to use footage that you've actually taken, photographs that you've actually uploaded. Google's algorithm is pretty intelligent, and if you upload an image to Google and that image lives somewhere else on another listing or on a website, Google has the ability to earmark that photo as not being original content. So, and Facebook does the same thing. So they give more credit for original content. So a photograph that you've taken, you own. So always use photography that you have used or taken yourself with your phone or from photography from a professional. So let's just pretend this is the open house. So event, we're going to open house and we'll put in, maybe we'll put in this 2130, let's go, whatever your address is. And then the start date will be on Saturday, ends on that same Saturday, I believe it was. Yep. And if you want to add a time, we're going to go, let's say, 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. mid part of the day. The homeowner still lives there, so they'd like to get back in at some point. And you guys can simply create a update or an event listing for your open house. Any additional information, maybe a couple teaser lines about the home, what to look forward to, and then you can add a button, which is nice, learn more. and you could link that to a web address or to your MLS listing or whatever you'd like it to go, but you do have an option to add some buttons. So book, order online, buy, learn more. Learn more is probably the most relevant one for you guys. These aren't going to be. So learn more, and if you want to add a link, you can. And then when you're done, I'm going to leave none, so we can just go publish, and we will publish that here. There you go. So now your post is now live on Google. The post runs for about 7 days, or at least until the event is over. Any general update will fall off after 7 days, but it still lives on your listing, which is nice, but it's going to help drive additional traffic. This will show up in search results when people are learning more about you. When you go through your posts, your Google's going to encourage you to update your clients, and just general updates. Maybe it's an accomplishment, a recognition, whatever the case may be. Really simple. Adding a photo, uploading it from your desktop. We'll upload Lori Pryor here, and then in this case, there's I am West USA, and then you can hit publish. Simple as that. And that's just like a social media post. You don't need to do these daily, but highly recommend coming onto your account and updating some posts, once a week, twice a week. It's going to be at your cadence. It's simple for you guys to do. So that's your post. It's real simple to do on that one. Your info, for most of you guys, if you ever need to make any informational changes, this is where it's going to live, under info. And going around here, you'll see where all the pencils are. That allows you to edit. So if you ever need to change out your title, if you want to change out the title of your listing, you can do so by simply clicking on the pencil and then making a change to your listing itself. Let's close it around here. If you guys have or you created your account with the brick and mortar location of a branch, you can change this right here under your service areas. And even though it says my postcard is on the way, I can make changes here and re-verify once I've made those edits to, in this case, I have no location, but I've chosen to select or I have selected deliveries in only service areas. And so your service areas will be listed here. If you want to add to those, you can jump in and make those edits, which is really nice. Your hours of operation, if you have any special hours coming up, or you need to close for a day, you can do that as well. Self-explanatory here. Phone number, email, or web address is important. I thought I already put this one in here, but we're going to add that in and drop in the web address. And then your services that you offer, if you want to add into that, you can. And then any additional business description, which you mentioned earlier, the bio, and then adding your photos if you want. Over here on the right-hand side, as you make those changes, you'll see that your listing will edit and you can get a lifetime view of what's happening. Insights, don't have any right now since the listing is not verified. No one's visiting it, but if you have been verified, you can get your insights and take a look at some keyword searches, where people are coming from, who requested directions, if you do have that option for anyone who has a business location. Reviews is huge, guys. Reviews is a big one for you guys, as I mentioned. If you need to, when you get into your reviews, this is the link that you can send to your client. And once you're verified, you'll be able to view those reviews. Highly important, if you do have anyone jump onto your website or onto your Google My Business listing and they review you, respond to the review. Even if it's a good review, thank them. Make sure to respond to all your reviews. That shows your potential future clients that you are active and engaged in your reviews. If you ask someone to do a review, but you've never responded to the previous ones, they may not be apt to do it. But respond to your reviews. And of course, definitely respond to your negative reviews as well. If you have any negative reviews, guys, I wouldn't sweat it. And if it's not a 5-star, don't get hung up on it unless it's something that's bad. Respond to the review. The acronym that I love is HEAT, HEAT. That's hear, empathize, apologize, and take action. Acknowledge that there's a complaint. Empathize with them. Sorry to hear that. Certainly, it's an unfortunate situation. Apologize and then take action. This is what I'd like to do. Take the review conversation offline. Please call me or email me at, I'd love to further discuss the issue with you and see what we can do to work through the resolution. That's just going to show anybody who receives your negative reviews in the future that you're attentive to them, you're taking responsibility, and then you take that review offline, or you take that conversation offline. No need to go back and forth in there and if it gets dirty, or if there's any information given that you don't want the public to know, it's not going to happen on the review. So I highly recommend doing that. If anybody messages you, this is where your messaging is going to live. Photos, I mentioned, we've already uploaded a couple, but you also have the opportunity when you go into the photo tab here, which is really nice, to add video, any photos at work of your team members. Maybe you get some cool shots with your vendors. If you work with a loan officer, title rep, home warranty, contractors, somebody that you've formed a partnership with, you can take your team photos and add them to this specific area. Again, building out your listing, optimizing it. The more these tabs have content, the better your listing is going to be. It's going to tell Google that you're active. It's going to show the algorithm that you have a lot of great content, and it's going to pay off for you guys when it comes to people who are looking to work with you as a real estate agent. You can see here, you can upload a logo if you have one, a cover photo, which is really nice, which lives at the top of your listing, and then also any videos you may have. So again, videos are fun to do. Get some B-roll footage of you interacting with clients or walking up to a home. Again, you guys can stage these shots. The customer doesn't need to know that it's your friend or family member or a colleague that you're pretending to sell or show a home to, and create some cool stuff with you in action doing your job, and then upload that for branding purposes as well. Services that you offer, you can add additional services there. Your website, again, not your website, but Google offers the ability for you guys to create a website based off of your listing. It lives for a cost, $12 a year, but it's very cookie cutter. It's nothing too, there's better options out there. So, but of course they're looking to sell some more of their services. All right, so back at the home tab, you guys just going through your home tab. Basically, your home tab here, this dashboard is all your stuff over here on the left-hand side. So here's where everything lives. Optimizing and making sure that your Google account is filled out. And once it is, like I said, jumping on there every few weeks, posting an update. If you post something on Facebook or Instagram, go and post it on here as well. And you'll get some additional traffic when it comes to your listing. So that's about it. If you guys have any questions, it's Google My Business is pretty simple and straightforward to use. Not a lot to it. We got a question here. I've seen some agents create a website for their home listing. Could you use Google for that? So I've been told, and it's discourage you from using your Google My Business for your listings. Where was it? I was reading this the other day. Someone had mentioned, trying to find it. I was looking at this the other day. I wonder if I have it here. Yeah, I know they discourage from real estate agents from using it to list rentals and listings for the home. Man, I gotta find. That's so funny that you asked that question because I was just reading that, and if I find that, yeah, shoot me an email. And I find that article. They talked about discouraging against that, but yeah, I have seen that as well. Creating a listing is certainly not frowned upon, but creating a website for their home listing, if it's a landing page, there's a lot of landing page services out there, guys, that allow you to create a quick landing page for that. That I don't see a problem with. Especially if it's a luxury property or, it's going to be a good commission. You want to put a little money behind it, creating a landing page that will just live to showcase the home and all of its amenities. I think that's a great idea. It just depends on, if it's a home that's, if it's 250 and under, it's not, I mean, if you can find someone under 250, it'd be amazing. But, if it's a home that's just not going to put a lot of effort into it, But if it's a luxury property, maybe creating a landing page. And I know there's a lot of landing page services out there. Something else you guys may want to look into too for your reviews. Where was this? Is using a review platform. The popular one is called Real Satisfied, REAL, Real Satisfied. It's a customer satisfaction platform, and that's popular with a lot of real estate agents. And then, of course, it sends out surveys to your clients after the deal, after you've closed, and some really general, not long survey questions, but good questions to help elicit a decent response to aggregate into a nice review. An option for you. I'm sure there's a cost associated. I know my loan officer uses a program like that. And then as they get the reviews that come in, they use that with their future marketing material. So it's an option for you as well. Yeah, peer reputation is one. Okay, yeah, that's a good one too. Again, reputation management is important for you guys. So a lot of good services out there. And I know that on the back end, they offer a lot of linking out. So once your review comes in, it'll link out and send those reviews to where you would like them to go. And of course, really just reminding your client without bugging them that, hey, love to hear from you on how our experience was. And of course, another thing you guys can do for Google is go to Google Alerts, just Google the word Google Alerts. And I talk about this on brand management. Search for yourself and then create a search alert for your name and your brokerage, a couple different variances, Keith Flynn Real Estate, Keith Flynn Realtor, Keith Flynn West USA. And when you do a search for a Google alert, anything that has your name or matching that search result that hits the internet from the day you set the alert up, it'll send you an email and let you know, hey, based on your Google search alert, Keith Flynn showed up. You can click on the link. There's a lot of Keith Flynns out there. There's a poet, there's a sports writer, but I keep an eye on anything that hits the internet with my name on it. And if it's good, it's bad, whatever it is, at least you're aware of it and you're in control of it. So highly recommend Google search alerts. So take advantage of that. If you haven't Googled yourself, do it. It's fun. All right, guys. Well, next week, I'm going to have a double header. Tuesday, 10 a.m. We're doing Instagram Reels. I'll be kicking that out. Reminders here shortly. It's a redo from last week. We had to postpone it. It'll be next Tuesday, 10 a.m. It'll be recorded as well. So if you're not able to make it, make sure to look for it on our YouTube channel. And then on Thursday, 10 a.m., we'll be getting into Canva for pros, Canva tips and tricks, how to use Canva to create marketing materials. Really fun one, guys. And I know that you guys appreciate that as well. You guys have been awesome. Thank you so much for your questions and engagement. If you have any questions after the fact, email me. I'm Keith, Keith @westusa.com. Have a fantastic day. And as always, be kind to one another, be safe, and we will see you soon. Have a great day.